State Line Records is teaming up with Generation Exit Records and 31 Records to kick off the summer with one of the hottest splits of 2025. Experience the raw power of Generation Exit's newest EP, Stay Alive. And with all the fury of Mark Lind and the Unloves, The Oncoming Storm. On June 6th, Austin meets Boston to scorch the earth when these two juggernauts collide. Pre-order the 12-inch vinyl now at StatelineRecords.com and prepare yourself to stay alive for The Oncoming Storm with Generation Exit and Mark Lind and the Unloved.
Hey, this is Rev from the Drowns, and if you still believe in rock and roll, then keep the dial set here at the Struggling Artist Podcast.
You're listening to the Struggling Artist Podcast.
People need to be entertained. They need the distraction.
With your host, Trev Allen.
I wish to God that somebody would do something to block out the voices in my head for 5 minutes.
Okay, listen, it's 2025. I've accepted that it's okay for punks to like grunge, but that doesn't forgive the lack of fashion sense. Welcome back. This is your friendly neighborhood coffin salesman and musical forager, Aria Rad, here with another episode of Underground Noise. And did you know May is Mental Health Awareness Month? So I just want to say, shout out mental illness.
Shout out mental illness. Shout out mental illness.
And I hope you're doing whatever you need to do for yourself. You didn't come here for patronizing self-help advice. That's the last thing anyone in the neurospicy population really wants, I think. So we're here today to talk about some great new music and great new art that's happening all around us. And conveniently enough, we're going to pick it up right where we left off last episode because there's a brand new single from Hallowed Blood, another one. This one's called 89 Seconds, and it's a really dark meditation on kind of the climate catastrophe the world is facing. And the last song they put out was very eerie, I guess was my big takeaway, but this one has a lot harsher textures. There's really big, heavy doom guitar and a lot of ambient kind of reverse swells that are layered throughout, and it's a really intense listen. Highly recommend you check it out. Really look forward to when that gets released on a full length that I hear is coming at some point. And speaking of heavy, there's a new song from the band Hell called Heavy, H-E-V-Y, and that's coming on their new record called Submersis. That's going to be out on Sentient Ruin, and I'm always at sort of I question myself, like, what popularity threshold of stuff we should be covering, because I really want to use this to give a shine to, like, small independent acts, and I think Hell falls, like, probably at the top of what we might cover, I think. We don't want to be covering things that are getting reviewed in Pitchfork, but what I want to say about this, why I want to talk about it, is because it feels like the guitar is going to fucking explode. Like, I feel like the guitar is going to, like, fall apart at any point. It's like, it just feels like the speakers are rattling and the thing's gonna explode. It's like the sound you can only get when you're playing something really, really fucking loud. And the first like minute or so of the 10 fucking minute song, I thought was a little like underwhelming, but then it was just like, I'm like, holy shit, it's heavy. The guitar's gonna explode. How is nothing exploding? Hard to describe, but if you like that kind of thing, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So make sure that's on your list. If you like that thing, it probably is. And that kind of is a nice pivot to we have a new record announced from the band Lung. It's called The Swan Keeper, and Lung is a really interesting duo. It's cello and drums, and it's very like grungy and heavy, but a lot of like artistic approach in the rhythm and melodies. It just like packs a lot of a punch. You'd think you're listening to a band of like 3 or 4 or 5 people. And it just goes really hard. Amazing band. And I think they're going to be out on tour around that time that record comes out. So definitely be on the lookout for them. And as many listeners of the Struggling Artist podcast, they're probably aware, there's a new release coming from Mark Lind and the Unloved. This one's a split. Not exactly a split. It's 2 records on 1 record with the band from Texas, Generation Exit, former Born to Lose members, which is we hold in very high esteem here. But Mark was on the podcast this week, I think it was this week, and he was talking about like some sort of 80s sounds that he was working on at home that kind of got peeled back on the record. And I want to say this is like 80s hair metal in the best way, written by like a punk rock and roll dude. And I think I'm giving that as a compliment. Like he talked about like writing a part like it was for In Excess or something, and I can hear that. Like underneath that street rock and roll, there's just that like nice touch of like 80s hair metal. And I mean that as a compliment because I don't think anyone but Mark could really pull off something like that. So be on the lookout for that record. It's coming out on State Line Records in June. And next up, we have a brand new single from Blamin' L. Whitman called Brownstone, Brownstone. And I guess I would most simply describe this as power pop against gentrification. And so Blamin' L. Whitman has a lot of pep in their step. They always have, and it's sort of been increasing over the years. And now they have like an expanded band and a much more colorful sound. There's a lot more melodies and layers and stuff happening in the music. And it's really like exciting to listen to. And so I'm really looking forward to this next batch of songs they've been working on. But this one's really cool, and it's nice to see people in this sort of style of music attacking more topical things rather than like exclusively personal things. Not that that's always true, but it's always refreshing, I think, when I get to hear that. So shout out Blamin' L. Whitman. We're actually playing a show with them, but that will have already occurred by the time this episode drops. So check it out. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you agree power pop against gentrification, or if I'm totally off base. But, I'm just going to play a quick second of it, all right? So the reason I say power pop instead of pop punk is because I don't think pop punk bands have guitar harmonies. Does that happen? I don't think that happens. It seems weird if it happens. So I want to give them the extra credit. They're power. There's a lot of power there. And that's actually a really nice pivot to the new song from Unseemlier called Power Chord Career Criminal. And this is coming out on their new record, I Have a Screw Loose, Somewhere. And they are self-described heavy emo. And I have to say I love that descriptor because it has this sort of despair, but it's really fucking loud about it. And so like they have this cool melody that underlies the song, but they attack it so fucking abrasively that it's really kind of gnarly and cool to listen to. I never say gnarly, but that's how I feel about it. So gnarly shit from Boston. So be on the lookout for that. And we also have a brand new couple songs from Boston-based indie band Foam Flower. And I really like these. It's very jangly, triumphant summertime indie to me, if that makes sense. Like I would say it's for fans of a band like Always, except without like the really noisy guitars and extremely heavy reverb, but it sort of sits in like a similar pocket for me. And so I like really enjoyed it. It's like so just pleasant to listen to. And let's play a few seconds of it for you right now. So yeah, it's a band I'm really excited to hear more from. Hopefully I can catch a show soon or something. I keep almost saying show tune, and I'm like, no, show soon. No, see, I'm going a little crazy. You can tell it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I'm aware that we are slipping very hard, very aggressively.
Dude, if you've got a mental illness, like, fucking turn up, dude.
And so next up, I want to shout out the brand new EP from Lesser Devils. They're a relatively new band, and this is their first release, but a lot of you might recognize the vocals and the person in front of the band. It's Jeff Rowe of Jeff Rowe fame, of Tied to a Bear fame, of Boxing Water fame, if you're a crazy North Shore person. And this is a super well executed EP of, I know melodic punk is sort of a catch-all term, but I really think there's a big distinction between what they do and like sort of nasalier, lighter pop punk. His songs are really strong and heartfelt, and they always have been. He sings very emotional and very loud. And what I love about this EP is you sort of get like the folk element of stuff that he explored in his solo career kind of shines through a little bit. So there's more songs with like open chords and more dynamics and a little bit of that Telecaster twang. You can hear he's playing the Telecaster. It just does that little bit of twang that puts you into like slightly folkier territory. And I really, really enjoy it. Let's play a clip of that too. You see what I mean? Yeah, you do. You do see what I mean. And now we're on the topic of kind of folky stuff. I want to give a shout out to Robert Sarrazin Blake from the most northwest corner of the most northwest state up in Bellingham, Washington. Has a brand new record called Let the Longing Run Wild and Free. And Robert's been putting out so many great records for so many years. And it's really refreshing to hear him always kind of expand his sound. So he's really got into like the Hudson Valley soul kind of thing. I mean, think stuff like The Band, And so this record is like his perfect pivot into Sunday morning music. You know what I mean? You put on some coffee, you pet the dog, you just listen to some tunes and chill out. There's a sort of really great groove. The band really does so much work to carry the songs and breathe life into them. And it's really cool to listen. So shout out Robert Blake. And, I got to stay on brand a little bit, so I can't let an episode go by without one kind of fucked up weird thing. And so this one came out earlier in the spring, but Guts Club from Louisiana have a record called Please Come Back to the Farm. And this is like fucked up drone doom with Barry sax as like the staple foundational instrument of the whole thing, and it's noisy and chaotic, and I had like a shit-eating grin on my face the whole time I was listening to it. It's like a rainy day, and I'm just like, fuck yeah, like you just like you get that slow stank face going, and it's like hilarious. And they have a fucking George Michael cover at the end. It's fucking insane. I think to explain the whole sound, let's just play a couple seconds of this too. All right, yeah, see what I mean? Hell yeah. So thanks for tuning in today. We have one more release I want to talk about, and that's Justin Arena, singer-songwriter from New Bedford, Massachusetts, I believe is where she calls home, is coming out with a brand new record called Glory Fades to Black. And I believe it'll just be coming out in time for this episode, but the first single that dropped is called Bright Lights with a Left at London, and it's a really powerful, intense song. I got to see her perform it at a Songwriters in the Round event in New Bedford, and it's just like very intense. And I was like, the production on the album version that's coming out is enormous and beautiful and wonderfully orchestrated. I love everything about it. The really heavy, eerie percussion, the beautiful vocal layers in the chorus. I think a banjo was destroyed making this song, if I got the story correct. So I mean, it seems like it was worth it because the payoff's pretty high. The production is really fucking next level, and the song is too. So I'm going to leave you off with the song Bright Lights with a Left at London by Justin Arena. Have a great day. You're looking great. You're doing great. We'll be back next month. Cheers.
If I didn't get to choose who I was when I was born, then I'm going to choose who I am when I die. If I live every day on a delay, then maybe my end would be tailor-made. Concert swaying side to side, I see the back of your head blocking the bright lights, and I think of what my life would be like without you, without you, without you, without you, without you. Always thinking with my heart instead of with my brain. It gets me into circumstances that can get hard to explain. So I'm casting out my line, hoping you tug away. Oh, standing at the concert swaying side to side. I see the back of your head blocking the bright lights, and I think of what my life would be like without you, without you, without you, without you. First the future makes you afraid that it's just a road that's been paved. The road behind you is never as important as today, and the only way forward is to keep driving away. I'm standing at the coffin swaying side to side. I see the back of your head blocking the bright lights, and I think of what my life would be like without you, 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 I'm standing at the concert swaying side to side. I see the